Okay, hello. Who are we saying hello to?
Tabatha.
Hello, Tabatha. We're here to read you The Hungry Giant of the Tundra. It's a really good book. Listen. In a village far to the north, the children always ran home before Cox-Lockhart, the hungry giant, came across the tundra looking for his evening meal. But one night they were having so much fun outside, they pretended not to hear. That's the blue one, that's the smallest boy. They pretended not to hear their parents calling them in. Instead, they played further and further from the village. The smallest boy was the first. That's the blue one. The blue one is the smallest boy. The smallest boy was the first to smell the breath of the giant. In the air, he heard the voice of Cox-Lockhart coming across the hill. I smell little children, warm in the sun. I'll eat them all one by one.
Get me.
Get back!
No.
The boy ran to the other children. Cox-Lockhart is coming, he shouted. Because he was the smallest, no one paid much attention to him. But soon, one by one, they too smelt the ugly smell. They heard the giant's voice. They saw the tundra darken with his shadow. I found little children warm in the sun. I'll start my dinner with the smallest one.
The biggest one.
That's because you're the smallest.
No,
You don't want him to
the
start his dinner with
biggest.
you?
I'm Santa Claus.
And right behind the
I'm
shadow.
Santa Claus.
You're Santa Claus?
Yeah.
And right behind the shadow was Cox-Lockhart. This is getting a bit scary. The children all ran for the village, but the giant reached out and scooped them up, even the smallest one, and carried them off to his favourite eating place. Ah, what a dinner, said the giant as he searched his pocket for his knife. Giants are often forgetful. He had left his knife at home. The hungry giant sat for a long time wondering how to go and get his knife without his dinner running away. Or something like that. Without his dinner, how to keep his dinner from running away while he went to get his knife. Then he had an idea. Since giants are not very modest, hello Matthew, he took off his trousers and tied the legs together to make a bag. Then one by one he dropped all the children, even the smallest one, into the bag. He tied a knot in his suspenders, hung the trousers in a tall tree and lumbered off to get his knife. Now, in the top of that tall tree was a little chickadee singing, chickadee, chickadee. As soon as the giant disappeared over the hill, the children called to the bird, Chickadee, with your strong beak, fly down and help us. Chickadee, with a strong beak, flew down and pulled on the knot tied in the suspenders. He pulled and pulled until the knot came untied. Then Chickadee held on tight to the suspenders and lowered the children to the ground.
That you put through the big thing.
It's right behind you on the table.
So
They all scrambled out as fast as they could.
Mommy.
I don't know. But before they ran off, they stuffed the giant's pants full of what, Alex?
Full of bark.
Full of rocks and grass and sticks.
Full of birds.
Nonsense. Alex is talking nonsense. They held the bag high, and Chickadee with a strong beak tied the trousers back in the tree. Then the children ran off as fast as they could through the trees. Not far away, they came to the bank of a wide river. On the other side of the river stood a crane dancing on her long legs. The children shouted, Crane with your long legs that stretch, help us to the other side. They're desperate because the giant is coming. Crane with the long legs fanned out her tail and sat down firmly on the bank of the wide river. She stretched her long legs until they reached to the other bank and made a bridge for the children. One by one, the children walked on Crane's legs until even the smallest one was across the river. Hide in the trees and wait, Crane said. By this time, Akagwagankak had returned to the tall tree with his knife. He was hungry.
Mummy, where's his knife?
I don't know. But when he reached into his pants for his dinner, all he pulled out was a rock. He reached in again and pulled out grass. He reached in again and pulled out a branch. He grabbed his pants and he shoved them. Not even the smallest child was left to eat. And rocks as well.
And leaves.
The hungry giant was angry. He stomped his feet until the tundra shook. Then he took off down the path after the children. See how angry he was? And hungry. When he got to the river, he saw Crane on the other side fanning her wings. Crane with the long legs, the giant hollered. Stretch out your legs so that I can cross the river. To the children's surprise, Crane did as the giant ordered. She stretched her legs out to make a bridge for the giant. Akagwagankak started across the river. Crane's legs shook under his weight. Hold still, Crane, roared the giant. Crane steadied her legs, and the hungry giant continued across the water towards the frightened children. What do you think is going to happen? Are they going to get eaten? I'm a bit scared. But when he was over the coldest... When he was over the coldest, swiftest, deepest part of the river, Crane pulled her long legs back. With a huge splash, Akagwagankak fell into the river. Now Alex is going to count the fish.
1, 2, 3, 4.
That's right.
And 5.
The giant makes 5. He fell into the river, and since giants cannot swim, he was carried down the river and to the bottom of the sea. Crane flew the children back to the village where their parents were still calling for them. All the children, even the smallest one, ran right home. Isn't that a nice story? Do you like it, Alex?
No.
Do you think Tabatha will like it?
No.
Alex usually asks for this to be read every day, so we thought Tabatha might like it too. Happy Christmas!
Mommy,
Happy Christmas!